Hey class, hope everyone's having a good weekend. Today we're going to be looking at the principles of strength-based education, and specifically the 5 modern-day educational principles. The first principle is the measurement of strengths. The second one is individualization. Third, networking with friends. Fourth, deliberate application. And fifth, intentional development. Now, how am I going to use them in my everyday teaching career and coaching career? So number one, the principle is to measure the student and looking at what their strengths are and using these strengths as supplemental data instead of just looking at the usual things, like the paper talks about absences, living situations, etc. I want to look specifically at my students' skills and help them develop their strengths and to not focus so much on their weaknesses, but learning how to succeed in life by using your strengths and not focusing on your weaknesses. So the second principle is an educator personalizing the learning experience for the student. And I think this is really important. It's a very scary thing. I have 55 students in some of my PE classes, and to personalize my content and my daily lesson plan to 55 students is a little bit overwhelming. But I do agree that a good teacher and a good educator, a good coach, is going to help each one of their students individually connect with the subject matter. I think this is really important, and I really hope that I can grow to be a teacher who does this and to learn the skills and techniques necessary to get it done. The third principle is networking with personal supporters of strengths development. This is going to be huge. Most schools already do this. We have a weekly meeting where our department gets together and talks about the subject matter we're covering. We talk about behavioral management issues and how we can support each other in the process of educating students. And I really plan on utilizing these meetings to just get the knowledge from the older and wiser teachers who can help me become a better teacher through whether that's engaging students better in the lesson plan or in the content in my daily lesson plan, or that's specific behavioral management issues that I'm currently having with students, and what are the best ways to fix those. Principle number 4 is deliberate application. So that's talking about applying the strengths both within and out of the classroom, and this fosters the development and integration of new behaviors for the student, specifically looking for positive outcomes. And I think this is huge, specifically because as a coach and a teacher, is that I'm seeing students in 2 areas of their lives. I'm seeing them in their academic career, and I'm seeing them in their physical fitness / athletic career. And, being a consistent, kind, loving human being, both in the classroom and on the sports field, allows me to be a good role model for these young men and women. And I hold this as an honor. And so helping the students understand what their strengths are and using those strengths both in the academic world and in the athletic world is very important. A specific example is, you could have a quarterback who's is very good with the details, but yet he may know all the details, but he has to learn to communicate those details to people in a way where they can understand them clearly. Another way is having, let's say, a linebacker who's a great leader. Well, naturally, they may be a great leader because of their voice or and the way they hold themselves, but they might not have a good understanding of what humility is and how to be a humble leader. And as a coach and teacher, I plan on helping these students understand how there's a dualism to these roles and how you have to be a strong leader, but you have to be a humble leader. And the fifth and the last principle to the strength-based education is intentional development. And I'm going to read this directly from the paper. Intentional development of strengths requires that educators and students actively seek out novel experiences in previously unexplored venues for focused practice of their strengths through strategic course selection. And it goes on. I really think this is important, and it's not thought about enough, at least in my own educational world, which is learning these skills, or I have these strengths and I want to use these strengths in other areas. So let's say I know how to use these strengths in academia, but I'm not good at volunteering. I don't know how to use these skills while I volunteer. But if I could use my strengths both in the academic world and in the volunteering world, I would have a better understanding of myself and how these roles play a importance in my life and in the life of other people. So in saying that, having a student, teaching a student how to use his or her strengths in different areas, such as extracurricular activities, internships, and other types of relationships. And that's it for me. Have a great weekend and have a great 4th of July.